Hey guys, welcome in. It's a Tuesday edition here of the Outspoken Sportscast. We're going to give you an NFL recap of Week 9, and oh my goodness, let me tell you what, this week was crazy. This week was unpredictable. I had one of the worst weeks of predicting games that I've had in a really, really long time, and it was a crazy, crazy ride. So let's go ahead and get into it. This week was filled with upsets and disappointing losses for most of the NFL. A lot that most people didn't predict. I was 6-8 this week. Fell off the wagon of winning these weeks and predicting them. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it as we get started here. And I'm going to tell you, this is one of those weeks that it's any given Sunday. That's why they say it. It doesn't matter who it is against who shows up on Sunday can beat anybody. So let's go jump into the Thursday night game. Was the Jets and the Colts. I chose the Colts in the Survivor League, and thank goodness I got that right, because a lot of the other games went the opposite way for me, obviously. Colts win 45-30. I just figured Mike White could not get that done again, could not pull out that magic he had last week, and I figured that they would fall short. Now, Mike White got hurt. Johnson came in with a backup and still threw for 317 yards, which is good. They've all looked better than their first round draft pick this year, so that's not a good sign for Zach Wilson coming out of BYU. That both backups have looked good. And look, I'm not trying to sit here and bash Zach Wilson and throw him under the bus, but this is not a good look right now for him. But the Colts get the job done. Their defense is better. Carson Wentz was the better quarterback, and that's why I chose the Colts to win, and thank goodness they did. The Browns destroy the Bengals 41-16. Mayfield had a decent game, 218 yards, 2 touchdowns. Chubb was the MVP of this game. He had 137 yards rushing, and the Browns come out, and this was a statement game. They're a team that I've felt's been really disappointing this season with the Cleveland Browns as a record, but this is a statement game. They did, Odell Beckham's gone. With the big news that they released him over the last week, and maybe this brings some clarity to the Browns and gets him out of the locker room and the drama that he may bring. But good win for them. Defense is on the road against the Bengals. The Bengals fall to 5-4 and show maybe they aren't ready as we thought they were. They're a good team. Jamar Chase is a beast. Joe Burrow's a beast, and this team has a future set up really well for them if they continue to go down this path and play pretty good. They need to be more consistent. They have been up and down this season. They've beat some good teams. They've lost against some good teams. They've had some head scratchers. So they are 5-4 now, and maybe they're just not ready for the show like we expected. Well, I don't think we expected, but from the play that we've seen so far, we thought maybe they could be something. The Browns, to me, I predicted them to win their division, and that could still happen, but they're going to have to step it up and play more consistently, especially Baker Mayfield. And as he says he wishes Odell Beckham Jr. all nothing but the best. I'm sure he does. Next up is Denver. Denver invades Dallas and dominates the Cowboys 30-16, and this game wasn't even that close. It was 30-0. going into the fourth quarter with 6 minutes left. I think the Cowboys actually put some points on the board. Not only that, they invaded their stadium. That every sack that Denver had and pressures and good plays, the crowd was going wild. So they invaded Dallas. They invaded their stadium, and it sounded like a home game for Denver. They played like it was a home game. Um, and Denver's running back Williams stood out against Dallas run defense. He was able to run the ball hard and physical. This guy coming up out of the draft that they drafted, I think he was drafted in the third or fourth round, if not mistaken. Jeff can answer that question coming up this weekend when we have our big podcast. But he looked really good, physical runner. They did not tackle him very well. He was able to break tackles, and I believe he leads the league in broken tackles this season. So good for him. Dak was forced to move all day long. He's definitely healthy. That calf has worked out there and didn't really give him any problems. So, but Elliott was not effective, and the Denver Broncos have beat the Dallas Cowboys, I think 7 in a row now. They haven't lost to Dallas since 1995. They don't play each other a whole lot, but there's something up to do with Denver that beats the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know what it is. I expected the Cowboys to win. This is a tough defense, but Teddy Bridgewater looked decent, and they put some points on the board, 30 points, and it's a good win for Denver. Now, my question for Dallas is, how will they respond? Right? You're going to have these games. The Dallas Cowboys weren't going to win every other game this season and finish 16-1 or 15-2. It just wasn't going to happen. The odds say that it's not, and they're going to lose a couple games they shouldn't. They're going to win a couple games they probably shouldn't. That's kind of way the NFL works, and with multiple different teams. But how will they respond? You can pick this up, squash it, throw it away, and move on. You're going to take some things away from this for the better and for the worse. You'll see some things that you could work on and improve. I believe Dallas Cowboys will bounce back, obviously. But this was quite a shocker that they lost this poorly and this bad. And they talked about the practice not being where it needed to be. And they had their left tackle out, and Steele was in his position, and Steele was only allowed 11 pressures in the first 6 games or 7 games. He allowed 12 in the fourth quarter alone. So it's a bad fourth quarter for him. They ate him for lunch, and Dak Prescott could not get comfortable back there in the backfield. Tyrod Taylor's back for Houston this week, and stinks it up against the Dolphins as they lose 17-9. Both teams combined for 9 turnovers. This is just a bad football game to watch. Tyrod Taylor had 2 or 3 interceptions. Tua did not play. He was healing that rib injury, but they get the job done. They get the win without him anyways, as Tyrod Taylor was a little rusty. The Atlanta Falcons kicker Koo kicks the last-second field goal to put the Falcons over the Saints. Now, this is what's going on with the Saints, guys. They just beat Tampa Bay, and we're going, oh, man, they showed up week 1. Green Bay did not. They beat Green Bay big time. They're so inconsistent. They beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers without Jameis Winston. He got hurt in the game. And they come and they lose to the Atlanta Falcons, who are not a good football team. Matt Ryan played great in this game against a tough defense. He was very efficient. And Cordell Patterson seems to have found the groove with him and resurrect his career. He had 126 yards receiving, and he looks good, and he's played good in every game this season. And I don't know if it's just Matt Ryan connection with him, but he's been kind of a journeyman, and he's found like he kind of found his spots, and especially since they're missing their star wide receiver. We talked about last episode about the mental health issues going on with their wide receiver. I can't think of his name right now. Calvin Ridley. So he stepped away. We don't know when he's going to come back, but they get the win, and the Saints continue to struggle. Well, they didn't struggle last week, but they continue to be inconsistent. There you go. The Raiders, well, they pull the Raiders, and they lose to the Giants 23-16. Derek Carr had 2 interceptions. The Giants' rushing attack was fantastic. They were able to run the ball really well. Jones did not turn over the football, which always helps out their offense, and they were able to get this victory and hold on. And the Raiders are a team I do not trust. They're a team that consistently is so far up and down, and they've gone through some up and downs this year with their coach getting fired because of his insensitive and racial and everything comments he made, and you got the poor lady who lost her life because Ruggs decided to make a dumb decisions, and um, this team has gone through a lot of turmoil. We'll see how they handle it, but right now, losing to the Giants doesn't look like they're handling it too good. The Patriots have Sam Darnold seeing ghost again as they beat them. They mopped the floor with them. They beat them 24-6. Patriots are on a 3-game winning streak. Has Belichick found a formula to win with his team? And the Patriots, it's been interesting because they've kind of take the first 4 games of a season as still kind of a preseason to figure out what you got. And Bill Belichick's really good at figuring out the groove for his team. And that's why I thought Matt Jones is going to work fantastic there, is that Bill Belichick would find a way to win with him. They have a really good defense, find a way for Mac Jones to run an offense and put up wins. And they've done that in the last 3 games. They've looked pretty good. If they beat the Cowboys, you're talking about a 4 or 5 game winning streak there. So that being said, have they found it? And, Bill Belichick can be dangerous. This is not a team you want to face in the playoffs. Mac Jones is playing decently. He's not coming out here throwing the ball and having 400-yard passing attacks, but he's not turning over the football. He's not making those game-killing mistakes. So maybe Bill Belichick has found that formula, but right now it's looking pretty good. And my goodness, guys, Sam Darnold has been Jekyll and Hyde. He started off the season really hot. I thought Sam Darnold could come here and turn around his career. He has the most weapons he's ever had as an NFL player. He has a good defense. He threw 3 interceptions, 0 touchdowns. They scored 6 points only, and they're not happy there with him. With the Carolina, they had Robbie Anderson talking bad about Sam Darnold, going off on the sideline. There's issues going on there. I thought Sam Darnold, I wasn't ready to be done with Sam Darnold yet, but Sam Darnold's done. You can stick a fork in him. He will not be the quarterback next year. I don't see how he could be the quarterback there in Carolina. Who's going to take him? Maybe he'll be a journeyman backup, but he is not the guy, and he's proven that with 2 teams now. Given the pass because the first team was the Jets, but with this team, there's no pass for Sam Darnold anymore. So he doesn't have what it takes. The biggest loser this week has got to be the Buffalo Bills, and I almost picked them in my Survivor League, and I'm glad I didn't. I still got them in my back pocket. They lose to the Bills 9-6. They could not score a touchdown against the defense. The Josh Allen was a beast during this game, and I'm not talking about Josh Allen, the quarterback. I'm talking about the Josh Allen, the defensive player for the Jaguars. He had 1 sack, an interception, a fumble recovery, and a sack all in one game. It's the first time ever that a quarterback was sacked by a player with the same name. Josh Allen was fantastic. The other Josh Allen, not so much. Where's the panic meter in Buffalo? Where is it? Because when I look at this, when I look at their season and I look at who they played, they haven't played nobody. They beat up on really bad teams. They lost to the Steelers the first opening week, and the Steelers aren't a good football team, but they lost the opening week. They've played nobody. And when you don't play a strong schedule and you have these letdowns like this, and you begin to wonder how good are the Buffalo Bills? And am I ready to jump off a cliff and say the Buffalo Bills aren't very good? No. But I think the panic level has got to be about a 6 for Buffalo. How do you lose this game? How do you not score 7 points? You got an explosive offense. Last season, you balled out and put points on the board. This year, you're not doing that against. You're not doing that as much as you were last season. I'm gonna watch out for the Bills. I'm gonna keep them under the radar and see if that panic level jumps up as they go forward. But this is a inexcusable loss. This is a game that they should have won. And if with Josh Allen not to score more than 6 points is just concerning, and it should not happen. And you should be worried if you're a Buffalo Bills fan. I'm about a 6 with the Buffalo Bills worry meter. And look, they might still have a good record, but they haven't played nobody. And it's just a bad look, a bad game to lose the way they did. Ravens take the OT win against the Vikings 34-31. Lamar rushes for 120 and threw for 266. He had 3 touchdowns. He did have 2 turnovers. But that's a good stat line. If he can rush, he can be the leading rusher with over 100 yards and throw for almost 300. I mean, he was 44 yards short for being 300 yards. But, it was pretty good. 3 touchdowns. The Vikings are another team that it's hard to trust sometimes. You never know which one's going to show up. The Minnesota Vikings they had the lead for a lot of this game. They allowed the comeback. Vikings bore their way into another almost win and give up 14 points in the fourth quarter to go to overtime, and they choked it away. They gave up 14 points in the fourth quarter. They bore their way in. This is Mike Zimmer coaching to not lose the football game instead of coaching to win it, and there is a difference, a big difference in that. And Mike Zimmer this season has been bad, and it's time for him to go in Minnesota. And now I hope they keep on him because I don't like Minnesota. I want them to continue to lose. But Mike Zimmer will be out after the season from what we've seen, and what we've seen from this team, that it's got too much talent on this offense to not be one of the highest scoring offenses in the league. But whether it be Mike Zimmer, whether that be Kirk Cousins, whatever the situation is there, it's got to change. And I feel like the Minnesota fan bases should be up in arms about coaching. It's a big issue there, and hopefully they don't get it squared away. Chargers squeezed by the Eagles 27-24. The Chargers remind me of the Bengals, right? I brought up the question earlier, are the Bengals ready for the big show? Are they ready for this stage? I don't think the Chargers are. They won, yes, but it didn't impress me. This game was too close to be playing the Eagles, and yes, I understand that they were on the road in Philadelphia, but are they ready for the show? They have let down games. They have games that they should have won but lost. They have games that shouldn't have been this close. So they barely sneak by and win. And a win's a win at the end of the day. But you can also find things about those type of wins and bring up concerns about it on things you need to fix. The Chargers are a good football team. They got a great quarterback. I like what their head coach has done. At the beginning of the season, we were all on the Chargers, and they've kind of leveled out here a little bit, and it makes you just wonder, are they a contender? Are they ready for the big show? I'm gonna put them in that category of the Bengals right now and say I'm not sure yet. I'm not positive they're contenders. They look more like pretenders this season to me. Oh, guys, this next one, guys, the Packers game. Oh, Love gets his first start in his career and left much to be desired as the Packers fell to the Chiefs 13-7. Now, look, Love had better numbers than Mahomes, but it was hard to watch. Packers offense was lethargic all night. Love missed throws left and right. It was bad. It was bad. And with Aaron Rodgers, we destroyed the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes looked terrible. Like I said, Love looked bad, and he outplayed Mahomes. He had more yards. He had a better rating. We could not score points. We couldn't get it done in the end. Love made some really bad passes, just high passes, low passes, balls on the inside that should have been on the outside, a ball that should have been picked, but it ended up landing in our offensive hands. He threw a pick late in the fourth quarter, about 6 minutes to go. We could not score. If we in our defense, our freaking special teams is one of the worst in the leagues. We suck and have always sucked at special teams, and we boot the ball away inside our own 10 and give the ball back to the Chiefs who score. And let me tell you what, though, this Packers defense looks legit. We shut down the Chiefs, and look, I know the Chiefs haven't been the Chiefs of late, but when you could shut down Mahomes the way they did, We played physical. We played hard all night, and we set up our team to win the game. And what really concerns me about this game was I'm not sure Matt LaFleur had a game plan or had Love ready for this game. And you could see it with the clock management. We get the ball, we're driving down with less than a minute left. We have a couple timeouts. Love's not calling timeouts. LaFleur is on the sideline not calling timeouts. There's no hurry to the line. There's no hurry up offense. It's just they're poking along. Um, I'm not sure LaFleur, like I thought he would have. Excuse me. I'm not sure that he had a game plan that was successful for Love to play. Love looked really jittery in the first half. Um, he settled in the fourth, but it was just too late. He did throw that pick. Um, our defense though played outstanding, and this is what hurts. Is I didn't expect us to win. That's one of the only wins I got this week. Is I picked the Chiefs to win this game because of Aaron Rodgers being out. But this is a game we could have won, right? This is a game that we should have won if our offense was capable. And look, I'm a realistic fan, guys. I'm not going to compare Love to Rodgers. I'm not going to expect him to come out here and be Aaron Rodgers. It's just not realistic. Okay, we got to be real with this talk. We got to be real with ourselves. We got to have that mirror on the wall. I expected to see a competent quarterback. Right, this is a first round draft pick. He's been in the league for 2 years. Granted, behind Aaron Rodgers, but you can learn a lot. And he didn't look competent back there. Missing throws left and right, bad throws. Not just here or there. You go back and I went back and watched highlights of Aaron Rodgers' first game, and you could see from his first game, oh man, this guy's going to be pretty good. And he had a couple throws that I was like, oh man, that was a nice throw. You don't see the Jordan Love. I never saw one throw that I was like, wow, that was a really good throw. I'm not out to say he's a bust. It's one game. I'm just saying it didn't look good. So I'm all for bringing Aaron Rodgers back as long as possible with Green Bay. Bring him back, guys, because I don't know if I'm ready to give up on good quarterback play. All right, guys, Colt McCoy, my goodness. He leads the Cardinals past the 49ers 31-17, and it wasn't even close. The 49ers get no rushing attack, only had 39 yards rushing. Didn't help Jimmy Garoppolo, who actually had a really good game, 326 yards. He had a touchdown. He did throw an interception, but the no running attack. The offense isn't the same. I don't know if it's Jimmy Garoppolo. My buddy Manuel's a 49ers fan saying, look, it's not Jimmy Garoppolo. It's everybody else. This defense is of the 49ers, who I thought was supposed to be really good, and they haven't been there. Joey Bosa's been off this year. I don't know if he's injured. They have not been good. The Cards run down the throat of the Niners with 163 rushing yards. And that's something that not a lot of people are talking about is the rushing attack of Arizona. In the 3 or 4 games this year, I've pointed out, man, this running attack that they have is playing balls out right now. And to come in and play the way they did and help their backup quarterback in Colt McCoy. This is another one. I picked the 49ers to win this game, but Colt McCoy playing, and I was wrong. 31-17 as they get smoked. Guys, it's almost time that I eat some crow on the Titans. You know, I called them out last week. I said stick a fork in them. They are done, right? Because Derrick Henry is their offense. He's their team. He makes Tannehill who he is. I'm not ready to eat crow though, and I'll tell you why. I'll give it another week because Stafford threw this game away. Literally threw the game away without Henry. They beat the Rams 28-16. And look, I'm glad that the Rams lost. I needed them to lose. I needed Dallas Cowboys to lose, and they lost. That's great. I needed the 49ers to win. It didn't happen, but the 2 interceptions that Stafford threw were the one of them was just horrendous. But both of them led to 14 points. Both of them led to touchdowns. One was a pick six. Tannehill only had 143 passing yards. If it wasn't for Stafford's picks, the Rams won this game. It was a bad game from Stafford. I'm still not sold on the Titans, and maybe I'm being stubborn. But if Stafford doesn't throw those picks, the Tennessee Titans don't win. This win goes to the defense of Tennessee, pressuring Stafford, making him throw those bad passes, keeping the Rams offense in bay. I will eat crow when I'm wrong. I'm not going to eat crow yet because I still don't trust in them. I still don't believe that they are who some fans think they are. Okay. The final game of the night the final game was last night. The Bears pushed for a late comeback with 21 points in the fourth quarter, but they fall short to the Steelers 29-27. And, Justin Fields looked okay. He played really good in the fourth quarter. These are two boring teams, usually. Two boring teams. The Steelers aren't great. They play good defense. The Bears aren't great. They play good defense. Their quarterbacks are one's washed and old. The other one we don't know what to expect from yet. Is he going to be good? Is he going to be their future? Is he not? Matt Nagy is he's horrible. He's bad to watch too. I think he's the problem there, and he will be gone next year as the Bears will make a change there, and I'm predicting probably at the GM level too. So that's two new NFC North head coaches coming if their teams know what's good for them. But this week was a bad week for my predictions. It was a bad week for probably betting. This is letdown week. This was the letdown week of the year. The Bills had the most concerning loss, losing 9-6 and only putting up 6 points. The Cowboys, they had a concerning loss playing the Denver Broncos. They didn't look good at all at home. Their fans allowed the Broncos to take over that stadium too. That's a concerning loss. We'll see how they respond. I think they're going to respond fine, but it's a concerning loss. Nonetheless, the Raiders, are the Raiders done? Can we stick a fork in them? The Bengals didn't look very good. The Chargers barely sneaked by. We've learned that the Packers can't score without Aaron Rodgers. And let me tell you a stat I saw the other day, and it made me want to cry a little bit. The Packers have averaged like 12.3 points a game without Aaron Rodgers. Okay, that's abysmal. And how bad is that? That's so bad that the teams that were 0-16, the Lions, and who was the other one? It was the Lions and it might have been the Lion. It might have been Lions both times. I can't remember. Oh, it was the Lions and the Browns. That's right, the Lions and the Browns. They averaged over 13 point something a game. So they're averaging more points a game, the 0-16 teams, than the Packers are without Aaron Rodgers. That's tough nailed to swallow there. And so we need Aaron Rodgers back. And I hope he's playing this week. Russell Wilson will be cleared to play this week, as I was hoping he wasn't, because maybe we win with Love if Wilson's not there. LaFleur's got to do a better job of getting Love ready, but hopefully we see Aaron Rodgers. All right, guys, that was your Week 9 NFL countdown, the week of the beatables, I guess you could say, the letdowns, the bad prediction week for me. Bad. It was horrible. Hopefully I'm better next week. Hopefully I continue to go on my Survivor League. There's only 5 people left. I still have a buyback. I'm the only one left with a buyback. So it's fantastic for me. I got a couple teams still in my pocket to roll out, and we'll see if I win. It'll be my first time winning it. It's the only second year I've ran it, and but it's fun. You guys should start it up and play yourself. But that's going to wrap this episode up of the Outspoken Sportscast. This is episode 83, I believe, and it's your Week 9 NFL recap. Look forward to you guys to listen this weekend. We are streaming all our podcasts onto YouTube. You can listen to our podcast services on Buzzsprout. You can listen to them on YouTube. Spotify, any and all podcast services. We are out there, guys. Go like, go subscribe, go follow, go share. We're on Instagram. We're on all social platforms. I'm on TikTok as well. So come find us, guys. We appreciate those people that do come out and take the time to listen or watch us on YouTube. Let me know if you have any comments, questions. Um, if you want to email us at outspokensportscast@gmail.com, you got any questions, a topic you want us to talk about, find us, ask us. We will tell you what we think. God bless you guys, and good night.